Now, this is not a scripted video. I just turned on the camera and I wanted to document this day. First of all, the weather's beautiful out here in Sacramento, California, and I'm in Land Park. And the main reason I wanted to turn the camera on and document this day is because the person that got me here, or was one of the main reasons I came to America in the first place, because she invited me here, and then moved into Sacramento, which I did not even know the existence of until her friend had a house here that was pretty nice and we could rent it out. Because when I first came to America, I didn't have even a driver's license. I had the passport, that's how I can come here easily, but I didn't even have a credit score. I didn't even know what a credit score was, let alone have a good or bad one. I didn't even know what it was. And yeah, she had a friend that had a pretty nice house here in Land Park, and we started renting that. And today marks the day that she left. Not in terms of us separating, we already separated around a year ago. But today she left the entire state. And well, she left Sacramento and then she's going to Florida and then etc. That's not the point, but she's no longer in Sacramento. So it's just me by myself now, and all of you that I have recently met throughout all the cars and bikes events and all the sports training and coaching that I've been doing. And yeah, I have mixed feelings. I mean, I fully accept the situation. I mean, it's not about me and my ex separating. No, this was I made peace with that decision, and it was more of an executive decision than it was an emotional one. Like we were still in love, but love is not enough to start a family together. And we decided that it's wiser for us not to continue. And it is what it is. However, one of the reasons why I wanted to document this day is because I feel very grateful. Not only to her, but also to everybody that I've been developing relationships with and meeting throughout all these events. Because you guys are a very big reason to why I am choosing to stay here. Now, of course, having very good infrastructure plays a very big role. And also one of the biggest reasons to why I am voluntarily choosing to start from scratch here and build myself up and not just go back to living like a king where I'm from in the Middle East is a big part to do with the police and the government system overall here, in the way that as much as I'd hate to admit it, and as cliche as this might sound, there's way more freedom here than in just about every other place I've lived in. Now I was born in Egypt. I grew up in Qatar, and university in Dubai, Sharjah and Abu Dhabi, like that area. And then played football in Germany. You guys call it soccer, but it's actually football anyways. Germany, then Spain, and then I've traveled to play in tournaments in Morocco, Italy, and I played for a short while in Manchester United in England. So I've been around, and also France. And when I was a much younger kid, I see pictures of myself here in America. My dad was a ship captain, and we went all over the country, but all I remember is all I have are the pictures, and then me remembering that one relative that had a really nice house and a big pool and whatnot, and a car that had a TV in the back. So for me, that was a very cool thing to see. It was a big SUV. And I feel like I went off a bit of a tangent here, but circling back to my gratitude of being here in America. Oh yeah, police, yeah. The amount of garbage that I've seen growing up about police brutality and how they treat people and all that stuff was honestly a very big factor in my decision-making process of avoiding this place, whether for university or after university, or even to come play soccer. Because I have a lot of connections all over the world, and also a lot here in America. And this was arguably the most accessible place for me, because in Europe I needed to get that residency, because as an American you only get 3 months without having to have residency, and then you have to get a lot more paperwork to actually live there. And I got the residency. It wasn't a major issue. But I've always avoided America because of all the research that I have been doing about conspiracy facts. But also, after coming and living here for the past 2 years now, I've started to realize how much bullshit and how much magnification happens on something that is not very frequent. Whereas there are other places that genuine police brutality, not this cute bullshit that I see here on social media of people getting all up in their feelings about the police officer basically doing his job and being an assertive man. Sometimes the videos are honestly pretty bad, but most of the time I'm like, okay, what's the context behind this video? Like, what was before that video started and what happened after? And even more of the times, the fact that you guys can even pull out your phone and do what you do with those officers without them. In Egypt, if you were to do that, we wouldn't see you again. And that wouldn't be the worst of it. That's why, like, I've come to lose a lot of respect for the general public and their complaints about American police. Now, I'm probably gonna do an entire series about my change of perspective and change of heart towards the police, because a lot of you guys that just met me or just happened to get to know me, a lot of people already think I'm already a cop, which I'm not. Which is quite hilarious for the people that grew up with me and the people that knew me from the past and what kind of stuff I used to do and my personality overall and what I used to do in high school and the confrontations I would have with actual police officers and military generals and whatnot. The last thing I would have probably been on the face of this earth would have been a police officer. That's why it was really funny to be accused of being undercover cop and people actually thinking I am not undercover, like a straight up cop. And life is funny, you know. Even me having this whole journey, it's quite interesting. Now, of course, I didn't change everything that I have researched. However, my perspective shifted a little bit. Now, the research is valid. The brutality is existent. The corruption is 100% still there. But the level of magnification that we give it is what needs to change. Because there are so many good police officers, and there's the majority of them here in America at least. I felt genuinely annoyed that I was participating in bullying them online with the type of content that I used to share, which does contain truth, but it also does, I feel, perhaps more harm than good. Because as much as we keep putting a huge spotlight on the negative things that they do, I barely saw anyone appreciating them for all the huge amount of good that they do, which goes unnoticed. Which kind of annoyed me when I started realizing how much value they do really provide for the community and having a bit more of a bigger picture perspective and exercising a bit more philosophy into that perspective. Now, there are so many different videos that I am looking forward to sharing with you guys, whether about the 2 years that I've spent here in America and how my perspective changed, not just towards police, but towards the entire country in general. Now, I started off in LA and then went to Hawaii for a couple months and then decided to settle down here in Sacramento. It's been quite the journey, and I'm grateful for so many different reasons. For both the good and the supposed bad, because even when the bad things happen, I'm still transmuting them into good. Like all the drama that I've had down in LA and the roller coaster of social media intensity, you know, it's fun, it's intense. And I recently saw this picture. It was more of a meme that described what America is in the eyes of Middle Eastern people. And they had like a picture of America and it said action و دولارات. It's like action and dollars. And that pretty much has been my entire past 2 years, almost since day one, bro. And obviously I highly appreciate my ex for driving me around and showing me so many different places that I probably wouldn't have seen without having a local tour guide like her showing me around. So I appreciate you if you're watching this. And we've had our ups and downs. It was a very intense relationship, but overall, you know, I'm very grateful for the chapter that we had together. And I am grateful to be in Sacramento. And I just wanted to document this video to highlight this day. I bumped into her very synchronistically, although we've been avoiding, I mean, me mainly, I've been avoiding seeing her. And then I just went to the co-op, like the grocery store, and there she was on the day that she's leaving. Like her car is loaded with all her stuff, and we go to the same grocery store, and I haven't seen her there the entire time, the entire past year that we've separated. Not once did I ever bump into her. And the day that she's leaving, right after, I was just at an event this morning, and it was a car event, and then I go to the grocery store to get my favorite cookie. And there she was. How synchronistic. And we said goodbye. And I mean, like I said earlier, we weren't on bad terms, and it was more of an executive decision for us to decide not to continue this project of starting a family together or being together. And now I am in Sacramento by myself with all of you guys that I have recently met. Now, even here, there's a lot of drama that happened, which I have absolutely no problem with. I don't shy away from problems, nor do I back down, especially when I know for a fact that I am in the right. Although I may be quite controversial in the way that I handle certain situations sometimes. And I do take responsibility and accountability for my participation in certain dramas that I have allowed to escalate. And there's a couple good reasons behind why I let certain things become what they became. There's a lot more philosophy behind my reasoning that I am looking forward to sharing with everybody, because there's a lot to learn. And what better way to learn than through real life situations and real experiences with real people. Not some random theory in a book or some cute little movie that you watch. No, right here, you and me. That's how we learn. Now, I am grateful to be here in Sacramento. There's so much work to do, so much to catch up on, and so much potential to actualize into physical reality. And I am doing my best to work on it all. Step by step, I've made a lot of progress. Alhamdulillah, I'm grateful to God. And there's way more progress that needs to be done, but I am very clear in my direction. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly where I'm going and what I'm building, which in itself is a very beautiful blessing that wasn't even in my mind before I come to Sacramento. Like, this all started at bike night. And I'm very grateful for the automotive community in general, whether bikes or cars, because you guys, especially here in Sacramento and California specifically, you reignited my passion and love for cars, where it got dimmed quite a bit. So, because when you live in the Middle East around certain people, they don't respect their machines that much. and there's barely any substance behind the story of how they got the car. They're just, you know, oil money, and yeah, we have a car. And there's a certain type of energy in the Middle East that if you grew up there, you know. If you didn't, well, you're lucky, because all you see is the golden cage that sells you an illusion, which is very far from reality. Yes, the money's there. Yes, it's very flashy, very physically impressive, but that's it. Only outwardly. And that is a whole other story that I would be happy to share. And for this video, to wrap things up, today marks the day that the person that got me here left, and now it's just me. So I just wanted to document that day. Weather is beautiful, the sun is shining, and I am very hopeful about the present, because I'm already working, I'm already building, and I'm very grateful for the new camera that I got, all the equipment that I'm investing in, and other cameras that I like, the Osmo Pocket for rollers, and more equipment that I'm looking forward to getting, because this is just a start. I'm very excited, and I'm happy to stay here and continue choosing to stay here. And I also wanted to say thank you to everybody that I've been interacting with, all the positivity that I've received from you. And for the people that have been projecting so much negativity, and most specifically the Zionists, we're gonna have some fun together, because I've been documenting everything, and I'm not the type of person to just let things go without getting what I want from it. And what do I mean by that? You'll see exactly what I mean by that. And I'm excited for what's to come. Inshallah, things keep flowing and we don't get another psyop that happens, which makes things harder to tolerate, like in 2020 and whatnot. And I'm excited, man, and grateful. I hope you receive that energy. Thank you for sharing your attention with me and your time. And time to get to work. Ah.